Yeah, it's always an emphasis, and usually that's a result of technique, getting yourself in the right spots, having good focused eyes. It's really the details of the game, and those things will present themselves. So obviously, got to do a better job there, and we got to emphasize it, which we always will, and hopefully have a couple come our way.
You guys were saying that obviously there's some things they wanted to clean up after this last game, but was there anything that you saw that you really liked? Maybe how they responded to some of that?
Well, there were some stretches where we played fine, and then there was just a couple things where it's the details of the game, like something very small can be exposed. If there's 10 guys doing one thing and one guy not quite right, then it results in a big play. So we obviously got to clean that up, and that was the biggest thing from last week. So there's always good and not so good, and I think no matter the outcome, you always want to learn from those things.
Had to adjust a little bit in the defensive backfield. How do you think Luburn played? That kind of increase.
Did a nice job. Came in and competed, and tackled well, I thought, which was good to see because he's a good-sized guy. He's played ball here before, and it was good to see him out there.
Second half looked like they started using a lot of three-step drop, and obviously hard to get a pass rush. But other than putting your hands up, is there any way that you guys can scheme against that?
Quick game. You got to get close to the receivers, and you got to get aggressive in your whether it's man coverage or your zone matchups. Getting your hands up, having awareness. So that's part of the game. There's obviously max drops. You can drop 8. There's scenarios where that's good and some where it's not so good. So I think as a whole, in terms of the rush, we were close on getting our hands on some balls and just didn't. And I think we got to continue to understand the three-step game, and in coverage, we just got to tighten some things up.
How do you feel Derek did in the slot? Because it seems like, he plays there quite a bit, but especially last week with Luburn playing almost exclusively on the outside, Derek was kind of put on the spot a little bit more in the middle of the field. How did you think he handled that?
There's a few things I think that if coming out of that game, he'd like to have done a little bit better, just like a lot of guys. But Derek's got the skills to play in there. He's real quick, and excited for him to continue to grow in that role.
How do you think they handled the double moves? Because there were a couple of them that I thought Sojourn handled really well, where he was right with him and very excited for it, but then there were a couple where they got burned deep. So how do you feel overall that they're prepared moving forward from one of those?
Well, I think it's always a technique, and it's your eye control and getting yourself in the right position. Make sure you're making sure your eyes are right. That's double moves. Is traditionally if you get beat, it's because you had an eye violation.
Do you see many similarities between Michigan State's offense and the one that you guys had to go up against from spring camp and fall camp, just normal Wisconsin offense?
Yeah, there's some similarities. The two-back runs, the 22 personnel, they do a really good job. They're well coached, got real good players. So, there's some of the same type run schemes. They have a couple wrinkles that might be a little bit different, but yeah, there's some similarities there.
Is there a change in preparation? Your career at Boise, SEC, Pac-12, now in the Big Ten, in the way that I guess you would prepare a defense for the hard-nosed, tough style play that's known for the Big Ten, known in the Big Ten?
I think it's football. I think it's the other team gives you the information you need to get ready, and then they're obviously a heck of a football team. Got really good players, good scheme, but I think the preparation should never change. Doesn't matter if you're getting ready for your first game of the season, the third game, the fifth game, spring game. It's all about how you approach your work and your preparation, and that shouldn't change.
Why do you think there were communication breakdowns last week on defense? Is that just something where guys are, they're just not quite remembering right to get something communicated, or was it that Georgia State was just throwing stuff so everyone's trying to get signals out at the same time and it just doesn't get around?
I don't think it was a matter of timing. I think it's just communication and the focus to get your eyes around, get the call, and get lined up.
I'm probably late to this party, but talk to me just about, has the intensity risen at all as you're going into Big Ten play this week?
I think the intensity throughout all the practices we've had has been good. Obviously, we know we've got a heck of an opponent and a really good football team, and we're going to have to play our best. And so I think I haven't really felt like haven't been intense in practice. So been excited about the first couple of days of work so far.
What are you seeing out of their quarterback? He's kind of got both sides of the ball. He can air it out, and then he also can do some damage on his feet.
Yeah, he's a really good player, obviously. Like you said, he can throw the ball down the field, and then he can hurt you in the quarterback run game. So that's a different set of issues there. So just things that we got to get ready for and get ready to practice and go out and compete with them.
No, I know it's not this is your first year and you haven't gone to the stadium and played them. They haven't played them since 2011. But what have you heard about this rivalry?
That it's two hard-nosed football teams that are similar styles. I think have a ton of respect for each other, and I think it'll be a heck of a game.
And traveling to East Lansing, it's been difficult for the Badgers. They haven't won there since 2002. Does that home field advantage, is it that much of an advantage for them?
Yeah, I mean, we don't really change the preparation. It's, again, we have a ton of respect for them, but this is, it really doesn't matter. It's all about how we prepare, how we go about our work, and we go in there and have a ton of respect for them, but we're going in there to do a job, and I know our guys are excited to play.
TJ got a lot of play last week. He got his most reps so far this season. Is he up to 100% finally from his injury?
Yeah, I mean, he didn't play football there for a while. He was out. I wouldn't say there's so much you can do in terms of rehabilitation and strength and running and all that, but you have to go play the game. And I think he would tell you the same. The more he plays, the better he's going to feel. And physically, he's doing some good things. I think it's just, it'll happen quicker and quicker for him in terms of seeing things. But I think TJ will be back to his good old self, and we're excited about having him back.
Not to discredit Georgia State, but Chikwe told me that it was kind of a reality check for them to pay attention more to the details. Have the guys been? Would you agree with that statement?
Absolutely. Again, it doesn't matter. It's really all about your preparation and your execution. And we didn't at times. There was times we did, but there was too many times where it was such a small detail, and it exposed us. And credit to them, they did a good job. But there were some things that we didn't do internally that would have helped us play better.
Can you elaborate a little bit more on some of the stuff that you guys did against Georgia State that you cannot do against a team like Michigan State?
Well, it doesn't matter who you play. I mean, it's the self-inflicted wounds that you can't have. And if it's a communication error, if it's a small technique error, it might be your alignment by a foot or 6 inches. If that's off, you can put yourself at risk. And so I think it's all the details of your position and playing the game. And so I don't think it matters who you play. You can't have those self-inflicted wounds and expect to play well.